welcome to the Frank Warren Promotions call for trainers Vince Cleverly and John David Jackson. Today's conference is being recorded, and at this time I'd like to turn the call over to your host today, Richard Maynard. Please go ahead, sir.
All right, good evening, everyone, or good morning. Some for joining us overseas. Thank you very much for coming on the call. I'm delighted to welcome Vince Cleverly and John David Jackson for today's conference call with the media. Of course, their boxers are meeting next Saturday at the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff. Vince's son, Nathan, will be defending his WBO World Light Heavyweight title against Sergey Kovalev, who is trained by John David Jackson. For Vince, it's a big night for him. As I said, he's Nathan's father. This is the most dangerous title defence to date. Sergey, as you know, is a huge puncher. He's getting got a big reputation for knocking everybody out. He's knocked out all but 22 of his opponents, 19 coming inside 3 rounds. So he's a sensational puncher. So Vince is working out the strategy for Nathan for this one. It's going to be a tough one for him, but he'll be explaining shortly how preparation has been going for that. And we're delighted to welcome John David Jackson, a former 2-time and 2-weight world champion. An interesting fact with John, he boxed Chris Pyatt in 1990, October 23rd, 1990 in Leicester. It was the first WBO world title fight to be held in Great Britain, the first ever WBO world title fight to be staged on these shores, and John won the WBO world light middleweight title on points, beating Chris Pyatt. So John's coming back over here, and he's looking for Sergey to defeat Nathan to win the WBO World Light Heavyweight title. Including Lamar Hopkins and Shane Mosley, the greatest fighters in the last 20 years, two certain Hall of Famers. So he's a well-renowned trainer, and he's been training Sergey for the big night next week. So I'll ask both guys to say a few words, and then we'll hand over to the press for questions. So if we start with John, if you'd like to say a few words, please.
It's a pleasure to be over in Wales for this fight, and we thank Nathan for taking the challenge. Yeah, it should be a very interesting fight. Camp was great back in America, and we're just finishing up here. We look forward to a very exciting fight from Nathan, we just hope that we get the fans a very good fight that evening.
Right, thank you, John. Vince?
All right, thank you, John. I'd like to thank Kovalev for taking up the challenge as well, and it's going to be a fantastic challenge for Nathan. 2 very high-class boxers. You've got Sergey, who's got one hell of a punch on him, and it's up to Nathan to defeat that dream that Kovalev is coming over with. Kovalev got the dream, and unfortunately Nathan is going to destroy that dream.
Thank you, Vince. Just one point before I hand over to those both guys. The fight will be live and exclusive in the UK on Box Nation, Sky Channel 437, Virgin Channel 546, and also be live and exclusive in America on HBO. So it's a big night, and we're certainly looking forward to it. Okay, Sarah, if you could open the lines for questions, please.
Certainly, thank you. If you'd like to ask a question at this time, please press the star or asterisk key, followed by the digit 1 on your phone keypad. Please ensure that the mute function on your telephone is switched off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. If you find your question has already been answered, you may remove yourself from the queue by pressing star 2. Once again, please press star 1 to ask a question. I will now move to our first question from Chris Guns Boxing Shop. Please go ahead, sir.
Hey, John David. You trained the boogeyman in the division. He wouldn't be the boogeyman if he wasn't knocking everybody out. He fought a guy in Campillo who was supposed to give some rounds to him and take him some distance because he did that for Tavoris Cloud. And a lot of people think he won. Most people think he won that fight. Nathan Cleverly has gone 12 rounds 5 times and 10 rounds once. And his last 7 opponents have a record of 165 wins, 9 losses with 2 draws. Do you worry about what happens if an experienced guy like Nathan takes Sergey deep into the fight in the later rounds? Does that weigh on your mind at all?
No, Chris, it doesn't, because we prepared. The problem with most people that they don't realize is that Sergey, he can't box. He's a very intelligent fighter. Unfortunately for his opponents, they don't last long enough to really allow him to showcase his talents. This particular fight here, Nathan's been saying a lot of things. He's been doing a lot of talking. And from the sounds of his fathers, they're both talking about they're going to beat Cleverly. Well, talking doesn't win fights for you. Punches win fights. Smart boxing wins fights. Being able to break an opponent down. So for this fight here, we studied Nathan. He's not a big puncher, but that means nothing. He's a decent boxer, decent boxing skills. The biggest problem for them is, they're going to fight an army with a handgun. You can't do that. He doesn't have the power to get the respect from Sergey. So it's an interesting fight. We don't take anything for granted. We know it's going to be tough. We hope it's going to be tough. We just know that we prepared well. I've studied Nathan very, very closely. I've watched him. I've watched his good points and his bad points. And I want to try to expose all the bad and nullify all the good. When the dust settles, decision or knockout, Cleverly will not be champion. And, I've studied him. So, come that night, I'm not worried about going past 3 rounds. If he goes past 3 rounds, that's worse for Nathan because that's more punishment he's going to take. And whether we go 1 or 12, we're prepared.
And you've been there before. You've been where Sergey wants to be. You've been the champion. How have you gotten him ready both mentally and physically for this shot? Not only for the fight, but for the way the crowd's going to be there to support their man. If you think that's going to come into play at all.
No.
How did you get him ready?
Well, when I fought in Leicester, England, against Chris Pyatt, I was the defending champion. And I went to the backyard, and I picked this kid apart. The crowd was singing, chanting, whatever they do, over here for their fighter. But I know about all that, but good boxing, and I dropped the kid, and I just took him to school. Same thing with Sergey. Sergey is a very strong, intelligent fighter. When the bell rings, there's only 3 people in the ring: the referee and the 2 fighters, and the referee can't help. He can't help either person. So all he's worried about is Nathan. The crowd care less about the crowd. The crowd can't fight for you. What are they going to do? Sing the victory can't happen. So, from my experience, I share my experience, and we're not worried about the crowd. If I all that, we're going to go into their business and do what we do best, and just come out victorious.
Are you going into this fight thinking that you have to knock him out to win? It's in his backyard, right in Wales. Do you feel like you need the knockout to win?
No, I don't. Like I said, when I fought here, I beat Chris Pyatt unanimously, unanimous in his backyard. You pick the right official. You pick fair officials. You don't try to pick officials that are going to be on your side, but fair officials. And that's all we need is fair officials. And like I said, whether the decision or knockout, Sergey's walking out with that belt. I don't fear the judges here. I'm not worried about that. The WBA has always been fair with officiating. We're in his backyard, but we're not worried about that. They both have 2 hands, and Sergey's going to handle his thing in the ring, and he's going to be the judge of that fight. His hand's going to be the judge of that fight. We're not going to worry about. He's not going to leave in the hands of the judges. If it does go 12, trust me, he'll definitely come out victorious.
And last question. You and Sergey do your work in the daytime, but I'm sure you find a place and you lay down at night and you just think about the fight and how it's going to go. When you think about it, how do you think it's going to play out?
Chris, I really can't tell you how it's going to play out because we'll find out on the 17th. How would I like for it to play out? The way everybody like for it to play out with my man being victorious, like that side would. You never know if a fight was going to happen between 2 fighters because, we all have a game plan once we go into the ring. But sometimes when a fighter gets hit or gets rocked real hard, that whole game plan changes. So, we have ideas of how we want the fight to go. But only time will tell come that night how the fight will go. We prepare for one way and we have a few fight plans. But once the two fighters get in the ring and they start to feel each other's leather and the pressure's on, then we'll see what they're both made of. And I can't speak for Nathan because, I don't know him. But I can speak for Sergey. I know what Sergey's about. Heart and determination. He wants it bad, than he wants anything. So, that's his dream. And he wants to realize that dream on the 17th. How it plays out, we'll see. But I'm confident in that my man will be victorious come the 17th.
One of the great trainers and one of the great minds in the game. Congratulations on your new job with Iron Mike Promotions. Thank you, John. Good luck.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thank you. As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question today, please press star 1. And we'll now move to our next question from Mike Woods from ESPN New York. Please go ahead.
This question is for Vince. Vince, greetings to you. I'm curious to hear your assessment of Sergey Kovalev. What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? And how does Nathan beat Kovalev?
Well, to start off, I don't think any of Kovalev's strengths are good enough to beat Cleverly, to be honest. Not one of his strengths. Everybody's going on about his knockout power. He's a fighter, yeah, he got power, but it must not there. And if Nathan's not going to be there when he throws his punches, then he can't knock out thin air. Another thing, everybody's talking about Kovalev's power, but I can assure you that if anybody's going to get stopped in this fight, it's going to be Sergey Kovalev. We haven't got one way of boxing. We got plan A, we got plan B, we got plan C, we got plan D, we got plan F. There's so many ways Nathan can box. He can box on the inside, he can box it long. And the way that Nathan has been training, like you take for instance when Nathan was sparring in the Freddie Roach's gym, he sparred with a guy called Latif Coyote. Yeah. Now you all know Latif Coyote, and that was only over 4 rounds. And Latif Coyote went into Nathan Cleverly like a bull. Like a bull. And Nathan Cleverly handled Latif Coyote. He's handled a guy called Derek Chisora, heavyweight. He's handled a guy called Tyson Fury. They've all hit Nathan. They've all hit Nathan with their best shots. Yeah. Sergey Kovalev does not want you to think that he's going to come over to Wales and beat the boy from the valleys by knocking holes through him, because it just won't work. Nathan is a very hard man. He's never ever been down on the canvas. His stamina is absolutely tremendous. And what people are going to remember about Nathan Cleverly, he was a very young world champion. And he's been brought along at the right pace by Frank Warren. He's been brought along at the right pace. This boy is improving with every fight. He's strengthening up with every fight. He's still only 26 years of age. Yep. And Nathan has been he's been in the ring, and he's been in with bigger punches than Sergey Kovalev. Sergey's going to come to Wales, try and beat the boy from the valleys. He got a big dream that he's going to beat the boy from the valleys. But unfortunately, Nathan is the dream breaker, and it's going to happen to Sergey Kovalev on the 17th of August. Kovalev doesn't fetch nothing at all. I've seen him box. He's 30 years of age now. As soon as that bell goes, the same as John said, as soon as that bell goes, there's only 2 of them in the ring, and Sergey Kovalev will fight his normal fight. But John, I've got no idea what Nathan's going to bring. No idea. Because our boy can box so many different ways. He can box in short, he can box long, he can box mid-range, and also he got fantastic stamina. And there's not a boxer, the light heavyweight division, that has got the stamina of Nathan Cleverly. And we're very confident of Nathan doing the business on the 17th of August for Wales. Thank you.
I was present to see Nathan beat Krasnicki. Some people who have been in the ring told me that they thought Krasnicki's power would carry the day. Nathan impressed me tremendously. John David, I want to ask you, what weaknesses do you see in Cleverly that Kovalev can exploit?
Well, he has a lot of weaknesses that will be exploited. It's going to be on a round-by-round basis. Their side, they're banking on their stamina, which is smart to do. But the funny thing is, people don't realize that Sergey has stamina. It's just unfortunate, like I said, he hasn't had to, go that kind of distance. But in the gym, we prepare for long fights. It's not like, he's going to knock everybody in 1 or 2 rounds. So, I'm not gonna sit here and speak for weaknesses because, they know their weaknesses. Yeah, that's fine. One second.
They know their weaknesses. All right, thanks, gentlemen. Looking forward to the fight very much. Good luck to all.
Thank you.
Thank you. As a final reminder, ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press star 1. And we have a follow-up question from Chris Guns. Please go ahead, sir.
I want to apologize to Vince. I had questions for you too. I just thought that the first round was going to go to John David, but I do have some questions for you too. I wanted to know that you're facing the guy that most people want to hide from in the division. When you watch Sergey fight, and I know that you don't seem too impressed with him, but what do you see that makes him such a dangerous guy, and why do people view him as such a dangerous guy?
Well, it's obvious really because he finishes the guys. He finishes. He got good power, especially with his right hand. He's been taught well to fight a southpaw like John. John taught him very well to fight Campillo, which is a good southpaw. But please remember, Campillo is a very slow starter. Campillo wasn't right for that fight, and Campillo has got a record of being knocked down early on in his fights. And we all know that Kovalev got a good right hand, he got a good left hook, he throws the left hook right hand, he's got good footwork. But there's a lot of weaknesses. There's a lot of weaknesses in Kovalev the way to box. And Nathan knows how to exploit those. He's a very intelligent man. As I said, Kovalev's going to come to the ring, he's 30 years of age. As soon as that bell goes, he's going to fall into the same old habits. He won't have his trainer there to help him in the ring. And I just think there's... again, with Kovalev, he fought Cornelius White. Yeah, Cornelius White, yeah, so what? Who's Cornelius White? He's there. He's there for Kovalev to get up his shots. He's there for him. Nathan won't be there for him. Nathan got a longer reach. He's got a better stamina. He's got a better chin. Everybody goes on about Kovalev not knocking people, but I can assure you that Nathan, please listen to this now, I'm 100% confident that Nathan will KO Kovalev. I see Kovalev legs wobble. Now with Cornelius White, also with Campillo, and if they can wobble him, I'm positive Nathan Cleverly is going to stop Sergey Kovalev. Positive.
And Nathan got some sparring time in with a big guy like Latif Coyote, and that's perfect.
Yeah, you can ask Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach was there, Latif Coyote went at Nathan like a bull.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of boxing's preparing for a fight mentally. It's more important than physically, a lot of people think. At some point during the fight, though, a lot of people do think that Sergey will hit Nathan somewhere probably harder than he's ever been hit. Because it's a mental game, what are you doing different for this fight, physically and mentally, to prepare for Sergey?
Well, we got more lateral movement. For one start, there's more lateral. That's all I'm going to give away. But we've been doing a lot of things differently, and Nathan is on his game plan. I got to be honest. Nathan Cleverly is going to be, I would say, at least 30-40% better than what he had ever done in his previous fights. He knows this is the biggest fight of his life. He's not underestimating Sergey Kovalev one little bit. But there are weaknesses in Kovalev that stand out a mile. John knows that. John knows that John's a brilliant trainer. He wouldn't be where he is now. He's an ex-world champion. And John knows Sergey Kovalev's weaknesses, but also I know his weaknesses. Nathan knows his weaknesses, and we've been prepared accordingly. We know his strong points. Yeah, we know he got power. We know he's a good amateur. Yes. So, but as I said, we got Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D.
Yeah.
We can adjust whatever Sergey Kovalev has been taught to do. We will.
And last question, I asked John David what he thought when he lays down at night. What do you think when you're thinking about how the fight's going to play out? How do you see it? You said that you think if anyone's going to get knocked out, you think it's going to be Sergey. How do you see the fight playing out when you think about what's going to happen?
I think it'll be a close couple of rounds. It'll be close for the first four or five rounds. Sergey will be He'll have a full tank of petrol or gas, is what you'd call it, and Nathan will, we'll just box. We don't know, because Nathan might stand there and boxing close. We don't know. It's all according when the first punch lands, and Nathan will adjust, and then he'll realise what he's got to deal with. And who's to say that Nathan won't boxing close? Who's to say that Nathan won't take the fight to Kovalev? And another thing, when you're in boxing, it's like this: if you go swimming, you're going to get wet. But when you're in the boxing ring, it's obvious you're going to get it. There's not a boxer alive that has not been hit. But it's how you handle that when you do get it. And I can assure you, Sergey Kovalev, he's never been used to getting it like he will be against Nathan Cleverly, because Nathan Cleverly will be hitting Sergey Kovalev, let me tell you. He'll be like a machine gun in there. Plus, the power has come. Nathan has had another surge in strength. And I can promise you Nathan will stop Sergey Kovalev.
I love the confidence that both of you are exuding. You guys are both confident in your man. I wish I was in Wales. The only winners here are going to be the fans. And good luck to both of you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it appears we don't have any further questions at this time, sir.
All right. Sarah?
Yes.
Do you want to ask around again? How many first we got on?
Certainly. We currently have 8 participants connected, so as a final reminder, ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you can press *1 now. Thank you. And we've actually just received a question now from Gareth Griffiths from Media Wales. Please go ahead, sir.
Hi, this question is for Vince. Vince, you might not be a betting man, but the bookies have got Sergey Kovalev as a slight favourite. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I can understand why. Like the last American guy that came over to the UK who was fighting Chisora, he was favourite. And what happened there?
Yeah.
Chisora would have knocked him out. And the same thing's going to happen on the 17th of August. We're not worried. I'm telling you now, we are not worried about Sergey Kovalev's power. We're not worried. We are offensively, we're not worried. Defensively, we're not worried. We know that we can beat this guy. Nathan's 100% confident he can beat him. I'm 100% confident that Nathan can beat him. Krasniqi came over for the conference. He was going to knock Nathan out. Tony Bellew was going to knock Nathan out. But when they get in the ring and face Nathan Cleverly, that boy is something different. That boy is something different.
And just to follow up then, what will the Cardiff factor, what will that offer for him? How much of a benefit will that be for Nathan?
It's bound to mean so much to Nathan for the Welsh fans to come and support him, and with the Welsh rugby and everything doing so well, and the tennis going well, and if Kovalev is coming to a country that's absolutely brimming with confidence at the moment. All our sportsmen are brimming with confidence, the cricket, the Ashes, they're in the bag, so they're very confident, and the Welsh people will give Nathan a lift. Well, the English people, the British people. Nathan is not only doing it for the Welsh, he's doing it for the British people, for the UK.
Do you think, final one for me, do you think when he beats Kovalev, or if he beats Kovalev, that he will make a real statement and sort of take up his sort of reputation up a notch, maybe, especially across the pond?
Yeah, I think he's needed to beat a top-rated American fighter, and that's why Nathan wanted Sergey Kovalev. He's a nice guy, he's a brilliant guy, and he's a good boxer. It's just that no other boxer in America would fight Nathan, would give Nathan a chance. And Sergey Kovalev, he's manned up. He's taken his chance. Mr. Hopkins has been offered the fight. We've got Carl Froch in this country. He's turned down millions of pounds to fight Nathan. You know what I mean? Nathan wants to fight the best out there, and Sergey Kovalev is one of those best fighters that's in the world at the moment. And Nathan's willing to take that chance to prove to people that he's ready for the next step up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And we now have a follow-up question from Mike Woods from ESPN New York. Please go ahead.
Vince, seeing as how you believe that Nathan 100% is going to knock out Kovalev, then I think it's safe to figure out what your kid is going to do next. would that crotch fight be made for next year, or are you still targeting Hopkins, or what comes next after you confound the bookies and actually beat Kovalev?
The next step would be the legend himself.
Okay.
Bernard Hopkins. He's my favourite boxer of all time, and it would be a pleasure for Nathan Cleverly to step in the same ring as Bernard Hopkins and defeat the man. I know I'm confident. You've got to be confident in this game. Yeah. Without confidence, it's no good. It's no good taking your boxer into the ring.
Yep. Good.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Vince.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And we now have a question from Michael Perlman from the South Wales Argus. Please go ahead.
Hello, evening, gentlemen. This is a question for John David. John, firstly, how would you rate Nathan by comparison to the other current world champions at light heavyweight?
Because I guess because of his lack of exposure on the American side, you don't give him a big ranking, but you can't underestimate the kid. He's champion for a reason, and it's not because it was given to him, but because he earned it. So you got to rate him as a dangerous fighter, and he's undefeated, and he hasn't learned how to lose yet. But on the 17th, I think school will be open for him. He'll get his lesson that night to learn how to accept defeat. Maybe not gracefully, but accept it. Where can I rank him? I really can't, because I haven't really seen him enough in enough meaningful fights to give him a ranking. But he's dangerous, and he's champion. So you have to definitely give him respect on those two accords. But come fight night, we'll see what he's really made of. His side, they're talking a lot, and they're really, it's good to believe in yourself. Nothing's wrong with that. But every man has a plan. But like I said, once that bell rings and he gets touched a few times, the plan changes. Now, his father said they got about 8 plans. That's a lot of plans for one fight. Listen, you get that deep into a fight. If you got 8 plans, you're in trouble, because that many plans, you don't have enough time for that many plans. 2 or 3, I can agree with that. But you're talking about you got a plan F, plan G. Come on, what kind of fight are you planning for? The father saying he's gonna box. That's how he's running. But I believe the kid. I've seen him enough. He has a big heart. Somewhere in the fight, he's gonna stop. He's gonna stop. The father says he may knock Sergey out. Well, guess what? You got to stop a fight in order to do that. If we have to cut the ring off, then we have to cut the ring off. We're not going to sit there and just chase you, because that's stupid. That plays right into Nathan's hand. So, to rank him, I can't really rank him yet. He needs to fight like this fight here, and, should he be victorious and, fight Hopkins or some other champion, then you begin to rate him. I can't really rate Sergey right now. I wouldn't rate Sergey. Most dangerous puncher in the light heavy division, yes. The best boxer, no. I can't rate him until he starts earning these bigger fights with the bigger names. So for me to rank Nathan, that would be unjust for him, because he's still young and he needs more time to beat bigger names to really reach that stature that he's looking for. But that's from the 17th first to even qualify to be ranked as a decent champion. He's a good young fighter, and you have to give him kudos for that. But on the 17th, he'll probably earn his first stripe. It won't be the stripe he wants to earn, but he'll earn a stripe. It's gonna be a stripe he earns in defeat, but he'll earn a stripe, and he'll learn from that fight and then go on, maybe become champion again, and then maybe become a better fighter. But after the 17th, you don't have to worry about ranking him as where he stands with the champions, because he has to go to plan K and then start over again. So I can't rank him, but I give him all the respect. We train hard for the kid because he is champion. And on the 17th, he'll no longer have that belt. But hey, that's life. It goes on here, he'll come back and hopefully become champion again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And it appears we don't have any further questions at this time.
Okay.
hope just ask one last time, and then if there's no questions after that, then we'll call it a day. So if you want to put your last questions through, if you can put them through now.
Certainly. And as a reminder, to ask a question, please press *1. And we do have a follow-up question from Gareth Griffiths. Please go ahead, sir.
So I just want to ask John, just you've had sort of memories of fighting another Welshman in Calzaghe, and just wondered what your memories were of that night.
Well, you know, Joe's a different fighter. Listen, he's way above Nathan at all. You know, you can't even put the two in the same category. You know, Joe was a hell of a super middleweight, and he defeated Bernard. You know, going into that fight, they had the wrong strategy because Freddie Rhodes was the lead trainer that night, and the whole fight plan was terrible. And I seen that from the beginning. And you know, I just stepped back and let them do their thing. And it was the wrong strategy to fight Joe. You know, Joe was a very busy fighter, and you know, to underestimate Joe is stupid. Because, you know, Joe is a very great fighter, and you have to give him that just due. You know, but to compare him to Nathan, there's no comparison at all. Nathan hasn't earned no strikes yet. You know, so maybe on the 17th, you know, hey, anything can happen. He might get lucky on that first strike. I doubt it. But, you know, we'll see. But if he's victorious in it, he's on that first strike, and hopefully it'll take him where he wants to get to, and be, you know, mention the same breath as Joe Calzaghe, because, you know, to mention those two in the same breath is unjust to Joe. You know, it's going to take a long time to get to where Joe got to, because, you know, Joe did it, held many defenses of his super middleweight title, had a long reign, and beat everybody that was in front of him. So to mention the two in the same breath is a disgrace to Joe. And, you know, let's see what happens on the 17th. Let's see, you know, if he's made of what Joe is made of, or can he be better than Joe? You know, that night will tell.
Right. Is that everyone?
We now actually have a follow-up question from Mike Woods. Please go ahead, Mike.
Vince Cleverly, I can't let that go. I know you have a lot of confidence in your kid. He's young, 26. His story isn't done yet. A lot of chapters, maybe left or right. I'd like your response to John David saying that to mention Nathan and Joe in the same breath is unjust and, in fact, even a disgrace.
Well, first of all, I got a reply to John saying about the plans. I got another two for him. I got a plan K, and I got a plan O. And that's
plan O.
That's good.
KO, knockout to Nathan Cleverly on the 17th of August against Sergey Kovalev. Mark my words. KO, remember that, John? That's the main plan. That's the main plan. It will not be a knockout to Sergey Kovalev, I can promise you that. When Sergey Kovalev lands on Nathan Cleverly's chin, and he shrugs it off the same as he did against Tony Bellew, Sergey Kovalev's head will tremble. He'll realize it is him with something different. Right. Now, the next thing, compared to Joe Calzaghe, there's only one Joe Calzaghe, and there's only one Nathan Cleverly. I've seen Nathan spar Joe Calzaghe. That's over 300 rounds. I've seen Nathan, and on occasions you think Nathan was the world champion. So, that's all I'm saying. You can't compare him at the moment, of course you can't. But as the record stands, at the age of 26 years of age, and Joe Calzaghe 26, Nathan is in front of Joe Calzaghe at the present time. So there it is. At the present time, at 26 years of age, Nathan Cleverly is in front of Joe Calzaghe. That's all I can say.
Good stuff, thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
And we don't have any further questions at this time, sir.
Thank you.
Great. Lovely. That's great. Thank you very much to John for joining us for the conference call. We look forward to seeing you in Cardiff next week for the build-up. So thank you very much for taking the time out tonight. Thank you, Vince, as well, for coming on. And obviously we've got the big build-up for next week. I've sent out the media schedule. So
thank you, John. Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank Thank you. That will conclude today's conference call. Thank you for your participation, ladies and gentlemen. You may now disconnect.